All right. Chapter 9, as usual, we have done 31 shlokas. This chapter has only 33 shlokas, 34 shlokas. Today we will do 32 and 33. And one last shloka, the final shloka of chapter 9, we will do next Thursday. Already these two shlokas are very beautiful, very encouraging, and if this cannot spur us on to progress on our spiritual path, I don't know what else can. So let's start with 32. Let's chant. Mam hi partha vyapashritya yepi syu papayonayah striyo vaishyasthatha shudras tepi yanti param gatim. Bhagwan says, Arjun, women, Vaishyas, Shudras, as well as those of impious birth, whoever they may be, taking refuge in me, they too attain the supreme goal. If you remember last Thursday in the previous shloka, Bhagwan categorically declared that even if you are the vilest of sinners, you can still be regarded as a sant, provided one has rightly resolved to dedicate the rest of one's life to self-transformation through exclusive devotion and unconditional surrender. So, vilest of sinners can be redeemed and can move towards the supreme goal. Like that, in our mind also, there may be some categories of people who we feel, arey, they too cannot, get that final supreme goal. So Bhagwan is just smashing all those preconceived notions, biases and prejudices and giving us a guarantee, again, more guarantees, chapter 9, full of guarantees that every category of bhakt has the possibility, has the potential of reaching the supreme goal. And this shows how universal the appeal is of the Bhagavad Gita. It is not meant for just a small handful of people. Anyone, anywhere can attain the highest goal so long as they follow the teachings of the Gita. So let's see these preconceived notions one by one, and let's see what Bhagwan says about it. So the first one, as you can see, is Stri, women. So it may be that some people have some notion that spiritual path is only for men, because they think that, oh, in the ancient days, all the rishis were men only. And so the women were just like, by the way. But this is a false understanding, because in the Vedic period itself, there were many women rishis. There were women sages. You must have heard of Gargi. You must have heard of Maitreyi, Lopamudra. You must have heard of Apala, Gosha. Even the wives of the rishis, like Anasuya, she was revered as a Jnani. So there were lots of, what about Mirabai? Supreme devotion. And all the gopis of Vraj, they were considered as the highest bhakts. So it doesn't matter if you're a woman, it doesn't matter if you're a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, whatever be your role in the material world, it is not a deterrent to attaining the highest spiritual goal. It doesn't require you to spend endless years studying Shastra after Shastra after Shastra. Only one thing is required, and that is unconditional surrender to the Shastra. not studying the Shastra, unconditional surrender to the Shastra. And how will you surrender to the Shastra? By surrendering to the Updesh of the Sadguru. So Bhagwan says, if women, if any woman would want the supreme goal, she can have it. And that is the first conclusion of this shloka. Second, Bhagwan deals with the Varna of Vaishya. So as we know, the Vaishya Varna, they are the traders, they are the businessmen in society, the business people, they organize things, they supply goods to all categories of society. In fact, they keep the lifeline of goods running in society. And that is why they are very busy people. And they are always preoccupied with logistics and deadlines and timelines and profits. They have to constantly deal with strategies and organize things. So one could have the impression that since they are currently born in this Vaishya Varna, or that they are doing this kind of job or profession, they will have to, for the rest of their life, they will keep doing this only because this is what they were born to. But it is not necessary. At any time, when the call comes to find the self, they can always use the rest of their life to look inwards. Once this dharma and artha and kama dharmas are over, purusharths are over, they can take a resolve. This is what I was born to do. This is my swadharma. And history gives us examples of people who were born as Vaishyas in the Vaishya Varna, but they rose above the sanskars that they were born with and they transformed their life. And the most famous example of a Vaishya who transformed his life was Sant Namdev. Sant Namdev was born in a family of tailors, and their family were great devotees of Vithala. It seems at the age of 2, the first word that Sant Namdev could speak clearly was Vithala. So, no matter where you are born, no matter what your sanskars were there from previous birth, what are you doing with those sanskars in this life? Are you making them better, higher, or you are just content? I was born this way, so I must remain this way. So, second conclusion. First conclusion, women also can attain the supreme goal. Second conclusion, Vaishyas also can attain the supreme goal. Now, the third one might surprise you. Bhagwan talks of Shudras. Unfortunately, even today, I hear people saying Shudra is the lowest caste. They cannot attain spiritual liberation. They cannot attain any spiritual height in their life. They are not inclined to the study of Shastras. But once again, our Purans, our history shows, has got an example of a Shudra who has attained spiritual liberation. And here also, you will be surprised to see the example I'm giving you, which is of Sant Tukaram. Yes, Sant Tukaram was born in a Shudra Varna. Though his family was very well-to-do, they were well-to-do merchants. In the beginning part of his life, Sant Tukaram had to face a lot of difficulties, lot of trouble, lot of responsibilities in the material world. But there was a time when he rose above it. He focused on devotional worship and he conducted community kirtans and he composed the most beautiful spiritual abhangs. So, no matter in which varna you are born, What are you doing with yourself in this life is important. Third conclusion, Shudras can also attain the supreme goal. How much more motivation do we require? One more. Fourth category, Papa Yonaya, those who are born of impious birth. Pap means sin. Yonaya, born of. Now, because of sins committed in previous lifetimes, we may get birth in this lifetime in a family where we do not get any religious inputs. We may not get any spiritual sanskars in our childhood. We may not get any opportunity in our childhood to study the Shastras, to be in a satsang environment, to hear pravachans, to be in the sanidhya of sons. See, if all of us have got these opportunities, remember, you have got a very blessed birth in this life. You have not got birth in Papa Yonaya. You have got all these opportunities. The very fact that you are here on Zoom today is you have got already all these opportunities. But there are people who may not have got all these opportunities because of past lives. Now, it is important to understand that the environment in which we are born is determined by the karmas and the vasanas of our previous life. What we are doing with our present life is our purusharth. That is our dharma, to do something to lift ourselves spiritually. That is our choice, right? So if we were born in an atheist family, if we are born in an impious family, if we are born in a family whose spiritual understanding is very low, then we cannot justify our stagnation in our spiritual growth, because it is only due to our lack of purusharth. So we have to resolve to use this beautiful human birth that we have got to lift ourselves higher and higher spiritually. One thing I understand very clearly is this spiritual longing that one gets. It has nothing to do with our environment. It has nothing to do with the family in which we are born. It has nothing to do also with our past life. This longing, this yearning for spiritual understanding, for spiritual union, is a call. It arises from deep within us. And when you hear the whisper of that call, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Okay? So many foreigners, you must have noticed, living in areas countries where our kind of Vedant teachings are not so easily available. Satsangs are not so easily available. They all come to India. They all put aside their impious births and they come here to study. What about Prahlad? Born in the family of Hiranyakashipu, the Rakshas family, Rakshas country, no devotional work, no puja, nothing happening in the entire country. That is where Prahlad is born. But yet, he became a Prahlad, the highest kind of bhakt, right? So, fourth conclusion, no matter where you have been born, in what form you have been born, in what varna you have been born, and also it doesn't matter in which ashram you currently are, everyone can attain the supreme goal. Bhagwan says all these people attained supreme goal. How? Yanti param gatim, he says, you can attain, all these people can attain supreme goal. How? Mami partha vyapashritya. Arjun, they all took refuge in me, in Bhagwan. You take refuge in Bhagwan, that's it. Attain supreme goal. How difficult can that be? See, we have that analogy of the chariot in the Gita. Now, in that analogy, the charioteer who's holding the reins, that is symbolic of Buddhi, right? So this charioteer or Buddhi is holding the reins of the mind. The mind is connected with the sense organs. Now, when the Buddhi has taken refuge in Bhagwan, then the reins of the mind are in the control of Bhagwan. Put your buddhi in the hands of Bhagwan, then your mind and your indriyas will also be in the hands of Bhagwan. And Bhagwan will then steer your chariot to the supreme goal. How difficult can that be? So, this is the guarantee of universal applicability of the teachings of the Gita to those who want it. You have to want it. You have to value it. You have to have that calling from inside. So in this shloka, two varnas Bhagwan talked about, Vaishya and Shudra. What about Brahmin and Kshatriya? Next shloka, let's go to 33. Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajarshayasthatha anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Bhagwan says, how much more then if they be holy Brahmins and royal sages devoted to me? Therefore, having obtained this joyless and transient human life, constantly worship me. Kim punha. Kim punha meaning, what more can be said? What more can be said about this universal applicability of the teachings? Already I have talked about Vaishyas and Shudras. Now they also can, I'm telling you, they also can attain. Then what about Brahmins and Kshatriyas? So Bhagwan is continuing because we have a notion Brahmins and Kshatriyas are superior to Vaishyas and Shudras. So if Vaishyas and Shudras can have it, why not Brahmins and Kshatriyas? Natural. So let's see what Bhagwan says about Brahmins. Brahmana Punya, meaning Brahmins who are Punya, pious, okay, holy, good conduct. Let us understand the meaning of Brahmin. Brahmin, obviously is coming from the concept of Brahma. Brahma meaning ultimate reality. Now, traditionally, those people who were devoting themselves entirely, exclusively to the study of the Shastras in order to attain Brahma, all their activities were devoted towards this attaining Brahma, studying the Vedas, studying the Shastras, teaching the Vedas, teaching the Shastras, because they were continuously in the pursuit of Brahma, called Brahmin. So naturally now, these people will attain their supreme goal because they don't have any other goal. Since they have no other goal and their entire life is devoted to this one goal, obviously they are going to attain it. Today, the word Brahmin has become corrupted. People consider themselves Brahmin by birth, and they are not at all concerned with pursuing the study of Brahma. Brahma Gyan? No, there are hundreds of other goals and millions of other goals. And they completely neglect the goal of attaining Brahmahood. So forget what is happening now. We need to see what is the traditional meaning of Brahmin. And if you are pursuing the study of Brahma, consider yourself Brahmin, then have no other goal. Then naturally, obviously, without any hesitation, you will attain the supreme goal. Fifth conclusion. What about Bhakta Rajarshaya? Raj meaning king, and Bhakta means devoted. So those kings who were devoted. Historically in India, we had many kings who were enlightened rulers. So the very first king, Manu, he was a knower of Brahma. So if those of us who have studied Adhyay 4 of the Gita, the very first shloka of Adhyay 4, Bhagwan says, I have revealed this supreme knowledge to the sun god. Remember that? Vivaswan. I have revealed this very knowledge to Vivaswan, the sun god. And then the sun god revealed it to his son Manu. And Manu was the first king. Then what happened? Manu transferred, imparted this knowledge to his son, Iksavaku. And like this, from king, devoted king to son who became a devoted king again, he passed it to his son. And like this, the knowledge got passed on up till a point where then the knowledge got lost. So, Bhagwan says this knowledge got passed from Kshatriya Raja to a Kshatriya Raja, and these Kshatriya Rajas were sons because they have do their work, they do their ruling, whatever they do in their country as Karma Yoga, and they devote their entire life to the pursuit of Brahma. Janaka was one example. And then you have Rishabh, king, and Ambarish. All these were royal sages. And even Arjun's son, Parikshit, he also got Brahma Gyan from Rishi Suka on the banks of the Ganga. So, fifth conclusion, fourth, God knows. Whether you are a woman, a Vaishya, a Shudra, born of impious birth, Brahmin, Kshatriya, you have the potential, you have the possibility of attaining the highest supreme goal. Now, we're after so much of talking of so many lofty ideas, why do you think Bhagwan introduces this Varna thing at this stage of so much of, beautiful teachings? Because he wants Arjun to understand that he is also born of Kshatriya Varna, and he also has a royal lineage, and he is eligible for self-realization. So he has to not waste his precious human birth, no matter how noble any other goal may seem, no matter how sattvic any other pursuit may be, the highest goal, Bhagwan tells Arjun, is attaining moksha, attaining your highest goal. So how are we supposed to, how does Bhagwan, now the last line of this shloka is very important. How does Bhagwan show the importance of using this human birth to attain the ultimate truth? Bhagwan you says, lokamimam prapya. Prapya means to attain. Loka, this loka. Imam, this. You have attained this loka. Which loka is that? Earth. Bhu, Prithvi. You have taken birth in this loka. This birth in this loka is a very good fortune. Everyone does not get birth in this loka. After many, many lifetimes, in lesser forms, even in this loka, you get human birth in this lokimam, this loka. You have got human birth. Why is it such a good fortune? What makes it such a good fortune? We to take life for granted. All of us have got human birth in this loka only. So what's so great about it? In this loka, in Bhu, only in this loka, we can do sadhana. We can do sadhana with which we can destroy our karma. Only in this loka, we can do sadhana to overcome our vasana. Only in this loka, in human birth, can we use our vivek, because that's the only time we will get a vivek. And we can use this vivek to distinguish between satya and mithya, illusion and truth. And only in this loka, in human birth, we can do the fourth purusharth of moksha. That is the importance of getting human birth in loka imam, in this loka. Unfortunately, what happens is that having got human birth in this loka, we are spending our entire life in the first three purusharths only: dharma, artha, kama. And poor fourth purusharth is completely neglected or relegated to the back burner, or said, in my retirement, in my old age, when I have nothing else to do, then I will think of that fourth purusharth. Now though I'm young, now though there's time for all other kinds of things. But unfortunately, we have not been given this human birth for purposes like entertaining ourselves, for trying out new foods, for drinking nice beverages, for traveling, for socializing, for acquiring, possessing object after object. We have not been given this human birth to get a grand name, fame, status in society. What have we been given this human birth for? To realize that Atma is the same as Brahma. Okay? We have been given this birth to distinguish between truth and illusion. We have been given this birth to understand what is permanent and what is temporary. Okay? And we have to use this human birth to understand clearly the misconceptions that we have of the material world. What are these misconceptions we have of the material world? What do we have to understand of the material world? This last line of this shloka, number 33, so important. Bhagwan says, this material world is anityam asukham. Let's take anityam first. This material world is anityam, transient. It destroys. It is not eternal. Everything that is material and everything that you see around you Everything comes and goes. Nothing is permanent. Now, everything is temporary, and we want permanent happiness. So, isn't it foolish that we try to get permanent happiness from temporary things? It makes sense, isn't it? All Vishayas, all objects, all situations, all people, all experiences will give happiness for a while, temporary. Then they will decay, then they will rot, then they will go away, then they will move away, then we will get dvesh for it. Then we will get frustrated, then we will feel anger. Where has the happiness gone? Huh? So the only thing that is permanent is Atma. The only thing that is Nityam is Atma. Therefore, if our goal is to always be happy, then we have to look for a source of happiness that will always be there. And what will always be there is Atma. Therefore, look for happiness inside, in Atma. Looking for happiness in the world is a waste of effort, waste of time, because it doesn't exist there. So you must look for something where it exists. Therefore, Bhagwan says this material world is anityam. Stop looking for your happiness there. Sukham, joyless. Now people will say that's very pessimistic view, huh? That you are saying life is joyless. Why? I find lot of joy in life. There is so much fun to be had, so much pleasure, all these luxuries, this power that I have, the work that I do, so fulfilling. And I feel so complete with the work that I do. It is so sattvic, and I make other people also feel sattvic, feel so good about themselves. Why should you say life is joyless? And my dear, if you think so, then you have the biggest illusion. And this is the biggest obstacle in your spiritual progress. The minute you say that whatever you are getting from the material world is fulfilling you, if anything from the material world has the impression you have that it completes you, then you will never look further. You will be stuck there. This is your biggest obstacle. This is your biggest illusion. Fun. Fun because friends are there. What happens when the friends go away? And they do go away. Friendships turn sour. Where is the happiness? Pleasure, luxury. Good. Enjoy while the money is there. When money goes, and money will go, it's temporary. When money stops pouring in, luxuries, power, name, fame, all that becomes, it just disappears, evaporates. We become miserable. Happiness gone away. Therefore, understand, all joy, all happiness, all sukh from material world, which is sourced from the material world, in that sukh itself, there is inherent pain. It's inbuilt inside. It comes with it. It's a package deal. Sometime it will give you joy, then pain. Therefore, do not rely on it for permanent happiness. Everything from the material world is anityam, sukham. Okay? When we rely on the material world for our happiness, then without any sadhana, without any satsang, without any samaj, when all our pursuit of happiness is only happening directed outwards, we cannot attain the self. We cannot attain the supreme goal. We will have wasted our human birth. But with sadhana, with satsang, with samaj, our search for happiness turns inwards, is directed towards the self, towards the Atma. Now the potential for attaining the supreme goal becomes very possible. Therefore, Bhagwan is telling Arjun here in the ninth adhyay, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. Arjun, I have given you the supreme knowledge, and the supreme secret is, if you want to be in Anand, if you want to be in permanent blissful state, look for that happiness within. You are a Kshatriya, sure, but even a Kshatriya can attain this. It doesn't matter if you have fought wars, doesn't matter if so many people have been killed by your hand. You have done this for your dharma. You can still attain the highest goal. Don't delay. I have given you this Raja Vidya now. Now don't delay in implementing this Gyan in your life. Okay? Why? Because life is a Nityam. And this moment you have life. But it is not permanent. Any minute it can go. Life is there now. Opportunity is there now. Tomorrow it may not be there, right? So don't waste your time. Use your precious time. You are young. Your faculties are all working properly. Use them for your sadhana. Your energy is high, Arjun. Your body is supporting your sadhanas. You can fulfill your highest purpose right here, right now. Use your purusharth to attain your highest goal, which is moksha. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad has one very beautiful learning throughout the Upanishad, which goes like, do not hold on to anything other than the self. This was Bhagwan's Updesh to Arjun, and through Arjun to all of us. Let us not waste this precious life, human birth in this loka. What exactly does Arjun have to do? And what exactly do we have to do? Bhagwan says, Bhajasvamam. Bhajasvamam. Worship me, that's all. Me? Who is this me that Bhagwan is asking us to worship? Which me? Atma. Me, self. Worship the Atma. Worship the self, because it is no different from Paramatma. Such a simple thing. How to worship this self, how to worship this Atma, I'll tell you in the next shlok, next Thursday. Om. 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 Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Chidarpanam. Jai Gurudev. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Krishna, for lovely chanting. Thank you, Zoom team. God bless you all. God bless.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna. Pranam. Good night, all.
Pranam, thank you, Tai.
God bless Navya.
Thank
God
you.
bless Naisha. God bless Alena. God bless Krishna. God bless Khairya. And all my shishus. Okay, I think I got them. God bless. See you tomorrow. God bless Anvi. Good
Thank
night.
you, Ma.
God bless. God bless.